You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the September 4th, 2024 meeting of the Long Beach Tree Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Board meeting for September 4th, 2024. Put it called to order. I'm present. Janice Brown. Janice Brown present. Are you here? Oh, right. Present. David. I'm Susan. So, do I need to look at the statute in their meetings?
So the audience can hear us.
I have. Hello. Okay, the minutes from last time, with our 15-minute meeting from last June, are all on tape, on Zoom. And at the last meeting, we talked about what was going on over at Golden Gate, and J.C. Dempsey wanted to landscape, and that was turned down by Parks Board. They wanted to leave it open so everybody can see the lake when they go by. We talked about the intersections, and we gave a list of intersections at the town council meeting. And what is this movie? Sorry, what is it? Okay. I gave a list of all the intersections that we thought were the most important ones to be cleared. And a good 4 or 5 of them were cleared because of the line of sight on each of the intersections being overgrown, especially over on Hazeltine, Oakenwall on the north west corner is all gone, and then they cut back the other side, and they did some stuff over at I think it was 17. You know, we had gone around and looked at things. I went and looked at every intersection that we said that we're looking at, and and one of the things that was amazing is how they had a stop sign before the gates on the other side, especially at 18. So then we would stop, and then we had an inch out to see Lakeshore Drive to go either way.
Oh, you're coming out of 18.
Yeah, so we talked to them about that stuff, so that's, they're very well aware of all that, starting to work on it. And we changed our meetings to quarterly meetings, and this is our second quarterly meeting. Does anyone know what's going, I can't, this thing keeps going back and anyway. All right, so new business. We wanted to discuss updates that need to be made to the tree ordinance, you know, as we've been using it and using it with, especially with the intersections, the line of sight and all that. Any questions that have come up, we have found inconsistencies. The ordinance says one thing, the exhibit says another thing, trying to correct some of that. So, I kind of said,
I kind of looked beyond that, and I thought I would see, like the red notes, the food notes.
well, we had the one inconsistent thing I corrected. So I just thought, you know, this could be a 10-minute thing to all, you know, you can do this at home, just to reread the ordinance, and if you see anything, let us know. And then looking back and forth between the exhibits to make sure what is said in the exhibit is what is said in the ordinance. Well, we did a tree thing, and we had it at 14 feet, had 14 feet, and it should have been 16 feet. Yeah. So I just sent everybody a new copy of the signed ordinance with the correct exhibits with that correction in it already. It's a 16 feet thing, so it says 16 feet, the ordinance, our exhibit was wrong, so we didn't use anything wrong with changing the picture, so I did that. I was just to be on the safe side, just read it again, we might not get any mistakes, but if you see any kind of inconsistency, and then I think when we were talking about trees at one time, and this one's a nuisance tree, and these are the native trees that can be planted, there was somewhere on, there was at least one that was on both lists, so we got it set. So, which, there's no bit, oh, okay, because I saw the two lists, but I didn't check. Well, there's one that said, right, one is the list of native trees that would be great to plant one.
Right.
The other one are considered nuisance and should not, they're invasive or whatever, so they're
And one tree appears on both lists.
yeah, I can't, it's, I think it's a
Well,
maple.
that's two different kinds of maples.
Yeah.
And so one maple is bad, the other is good, we just need to make sure.
I just wanna take a close
So
look.
then there's trees in between, because the native trees of Indiana are specific Indiana trees. But there are other trees that are okay plant, but we don't have them.
Yeah,
It's that we produce, and like.
right, and I think the list we have is from the DNR, so.
Yes, that's only the native.
Yeah, it's kind of basic, I mean, we did this, we're not gonna get specific, baby steps with our town, so. That's pretty much, what I was talking about, doing, looking at the exhibits. Let's see, section, oh. Then. We have, everything about the ordinance is about trees and everything on town property. And thinking like with oak wilt, Dutch elm disease, is there a way for us to prevent residents from not following what the DNR warnings and, what the expectations on how to handle trees if you have certain diseases that are on their property? That would have then eventually affect the town property and it would take it down, like, or, you know, so.
Well, when you get to refer people to the DNR,
Well, of course, I'm trying to think of a way around it, so my thought right now, have to bring this to the town council, could be fly by night, could probably, I don't know, lawyers say no, chief will say start, and will be crazy, but I'm thinking, why can't we give this kind of information when it occurs to all of the landscapers and tree people that are registered for the town of Long Beach and tell them that this and this is, we're not, like, we do not want to be, like I say, cutting down oak trees right now. We can only cut trees, oak trees down in the fall or whatever. You know, that why can't we do it that way and make the landscapers kind of be aware of what's going on and letting them know that we don't want that kind of stuff. I don't know, this is, might be shot down, but it's just a thought of, I know we can't make people do anything, you know, they get to do whatever they want on their lands, but this might be a way to help educate them by a landscaper saying, well, no, well, yes, we can trim this tree, but we're gonna wait till after. Huh? No, we don't know, this is just an idea.
no, the tree people don't know.
No,
Those are the pretty people during the nature anytime. So,
all summer long, you can see
yeah,
doing trees, yeah. So I'm just wondering if there's a way for
That's
us,
happening, they think the people are just the tree people.
right, so if we made this mandatory of the people that are on this list. And then they will, yes, we can do this, but we know that we can't do it till September or October. And just say it over right now.
Oh, how is this?
I mean, I'm just saying to have something in the ordinance when it occurs, like oak wilt is the big thing right now. Years ago, it was Dutch elm disease. I'm just talking about the big ones that are, like wiping out a lot of trees. If they come, if it occurs in our town, there's a way for us to manage that not happening in our town.
it's not just trees, it's evergreens too, because I think we have some good big thing in our spruce facilities above. So, sure, not sure. Yeah.
Maybe that's just something for your newsletter or something.
Yeah.
Maybe compare it. I don't think it's worse.
No, yeah, it's that way. I think you're right. You can't enforce it like that. Way up enforcing it is making the landscape and tree people go along with the DNR. And the DNR doesn't do picky stuff. They do like the folklore. They do like major kinds of things. And that, I think that's a good way to start letting people know that, you know, no, we're not gonna put oaks down all summer long, we might just wait until October, that's what we would do with, you know, landscape companies.
But there could be special situations where you have storms and big branches hanging.
Oh, yeah, there's always exceptions, there's always exceptions,
Yeah.
always, you know, things have to be cut down when someone's on someone's house, or anything, and there's not anything to do about it. But just as a precaution or way of letting all the landscape people, is there a way we can let them all know that this is occurring and we would appreciate, you know, I don't know. And we're just, it's just a thought, you know, something maybe to add to the ordinance.
Well, no, also those arborists, they always call it. So, wait till it.
Mhm. But not, tree companies have ours or. And those are what you get.
Registered, you know.
Right, well, and some of them, you know, they don't are arborists, and they might be okay to cut trees down, you don't have to be an arborist to cut trees down on one beach. But they're also the cheapest, and one of those trees to cut down, okay? 107 trees cut down in the front, they're all, but, you know, huge trees, and, so,
It's like with a storm, do you, like, well, damage, was, you know, branches all over, but like, last, oh, yeah, it's pretty bad.
right, and it's,
Is the town, okay, take care of it, or do you got?
that's covered in ordinance, and Tom and Chief take care of it, that can sound right away, I mean, it is in the ordinance, and yes, stuff like that has to be done right away, you know, because we can have down power lines, we have to block streets, which you can't have because of fire and police and all that, so that is in the ordinance to, that would happen, so. This is just an idea that I'm throwing out there, you know. Yeah, it could be a dumb idea, or it could be shot down, but I'm just bringing it up to see what you guys think, if it's something that I should bring to the town council, ask them if that's something they can do, or don't think.
Yeah, well,
Oh, when these tree companies register, they just don't know that it has to be part of the ordinance. Can't they, do the sheet that says these trees can be taken down on the side?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, but most, I guess most do it, people do tell. You know, they do, the people call them, people all the time. Is this person supposed to be doing this? Yeah,
Oh, it doesn't be lit.
yeah, I know,
Even.
right, so we'll just, you know, and so it was just an idea, I don't, you know, is there a way to do that? So I guess maybe I'm gonna like phrase this, is that something that can be done, or is it just something that we should give to all of the contractors in the spring, and let them know that we would appreciate that any oak trees that any of our residents ask to add. Now, I'm just, this is an example, it needs to be taken down, if you would do it, then you would advise them to do it in October, November.
Yeah.
And there's a secret big noise for the being now.
Yeah,
And, send an email if there's something that comes up, because I know the National Park is, really concerned, because they took about 8 samples to Purdue for oak quilt. So I have heard the book.
yeah,
There, and then Southwest Michigan too, but then there it's.
quickly spread.
Oh, yeah, it'll, a red oak tree, it'll take it out, and, you know, it's.
yeah. And you know, and I know some of this is like rare, but it's nice that, you know, if we have this tree committee, be able to give people a heads up on some people are very vigilant about the trees and what fits in their yard, you know, I've seen people cry when they get their trees taken down, and it's, you know, when they probably show signs that people have done something with their head, so just.
Is there any treatment for those?
There is, I had 17 folks taken out by, to Peoria. We treated some of the older ones that we thought maybe we could say based on where the disease was. And only one of them was, and they probably had some advances in it, but from what we put in the local thing, this research, it was all. So. The other thing though is too, dead trees on private property and people that don't take down the dead trees, we talk about that.
Say, I have a picture.
Um,
Of a dead tree that someone's not taking down.
mhm.
I have one in my backyard that's on the list, supposed list, it's like in the causeway behind me. There's some tree, but we told, we stopped all oak trees from being cut down. Is
So
it not,
this is, that was,
that's on top, that is on top, I'm sorry, longer talking.
No, I'm not being fired.
Okay, and it is, and if it falls, it's gonna hit your house.
I'm sorry.
If it falls, it's gonna hit your house.
No, it's really, it stops on the feet.
Okay,
I don't think it's gonna fall. I mean, with the storm, it's a dead tree, it should be taken down.
and
It's
it's,
not sure it's out by the property. The property is kind of in a limbo of litigation right now,
okay,
but I still think the town should notify the private property owner that it needs to turn out.
I do believe there's something in our ordinance that talks about that.
I think so. But that's why I'm.
Um, Okay, the township has the right to remove any tree or shrub on private property when it interferes with proper spread of light along the street. This is the triangle thing. Any tree overhanging the town right of way, they can cut, that if it's on private property, they can cut branches up. in
yeah,
there.
there, as soon as.
Right. The tree superintendent retains,
Specific.
and the tree superintendent retains authority to remove trees periodically throughout the year when needed dead under emergency conditions, or any town tree or part of any such tree which is in an unsafe condition or which by reason of injurious, the streets are removed, submit a list of tree gets sometimes,
Yeah, those are all the time.
yeah.
I don't think it. I think so, and something that's hanging over some into the property.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's in the hanging over, but it's still in bed tree.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, pruning shall be limited to the offending branches, but may not be limited to the property and health. Pruning shall begin only after the homeowner has been notified by certified mails and sent to the address of record obtained from the town of Long Beach Water Department, blah, blah, blah. Tree limbs that grow near voltage, yeah,
Yeah, and this.
that would be very good. This
But
would put it,
So what,
I agree with you, Jane, so we want
what's the process? Do we just notify, like,
dead trees on private property. It's like you said, is anyone living there? No. On private property. No, especially, I'm just right, these are not really right up when I'm gonna say the town council meeting, especially, empty houses.
well, it's,
I mean,
there are a lot of dead trees around town and they're not all deep.
Well, but those kinds of trees, like if someone's living in it, the neighbors can have to say something to them, like, you know.
yeah, I was gonna, my neighbor had it, and I was gonna say something, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't come to town with it.
Yeah.
Right, and I think that, yeah, I agree, I think people will say something, especially if they don't want it to fall in the house. They probably would actually say something, so, but yeah, I think they pay attention, I know in the main ordinance, there's stuff about, it's not in the tree ordinance, but is I read anything about noise and nuisance, and they have stuff about cutting grass, cutting weeds back, cutting trees, and people who don't take care of their house in the main, of all the ordinances, and I think it's under nuisance, and I'll have to take a look at that to see if that's something that we should reiterate in our tree laws, because I see that a lot when I was looking at noise and loud noise and all that stuff, a lot of stuff is repeated in different areas, which probably all be in one area, but that's how it's gonna be. And I'll go back and look and see if there is a way to that include that, because it's in another part, in another ordinance. If they do have something in there about, well, having, making people cut their grass Take things, clean it up, and stuff, they have to talk to people. And I know what's your name over on 21, they talk to a lot, which is, you know, she's,
I think so,
you know, so she's, whatever. So,
this is the chief.
well, yeah, I mean, I would say, you know, who's doing, you know, doing something about it. I don't, you know, I, the tree, yes. Anything about cutting trees down, we need to get to the chief, because then he talks the town.
And
You
I did go to private center too.
Yeah, like, he'll know how to find your water. So, but,
That's not,
No, it's not so strong.
but it's on, was it on 17 or 18?
It's just, that storm.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of damage. I mean, I saw a lot of trees.
I know, I saw that David, but it's, yeah, here.
She was the one reason to, oh,
Yeah,
he was like a big old, and it just landed in the yard.
yes.
I mean, it was astounding, the size of that tree.
No, that was new storm. It's just.
Exactly.
It just about, it was you guys.
And then I saw pictures of like 4 huge trees in backyards, and New Buffalo got bombed.
Yeah.
And a lot of trees, yeah, they really were like that. Yeah, yeah, so, yeah. Okay, so I'll look this up and under nuisance and see if it's something that we can put in. This.
And then because we have a tree on Shorewood that was on private property across from us and it fell in the middle of the night and it was huge. And so I pulled in to the police department because if somebody needed to get it out or the things that they came and moved it, skid steer.
But they usually just put it back on their property and they have to take care of taking it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think the last thing I have on new business is, we did our first newsletter, which was beautiful. Wasn't it gorgeous? So, and we want to do it quarterly. And I'm just wondering what topics we want to put in this one. So we could talk about pruning and tree cutting because we get home and push it off.
Bringing tips and tricks. Trees under power lines because, that will, and I'm thinking it's the weather, you know, that's global. The climate change happens, the cool guys start having more ice storms and we have snowstorms. And that's when you really start getting power down. So we're.
Yeah, I have trees that are in between power lines too, in my backyard.
There's a ton of them here.
Does it come,
They can call them so.
there's go buckets.
Well, that's.
And that's some people this book. And it was like, what do you mean we have to trim the trees from our limits? And it was like, this was unaware that was a necessary function.
This was absolutely crazy to deal with. My husband was not stealing completely. It's
Well,
crazy.
I'll be elected for the chief
Yeah, but it is, yeah, how do we,
and just make people aware and if they think it's, you know, they can
yeah, you know,
contact and then.
because he reads this before we put it out, so he's gonna want, because he looks at stuff like, oh God, he's gonna put that into my phone, will never stop doing.
And then vines on trees, because winter time is a good time to cut them at the base. So then,
Yeah, a lot of trees and have all the vines growing. I guess it's only in the trees, but once it hits a branch and starts winding out and going up, it will kill the
you can
trees.
see them right.
The trees are all over the place. Oh. I was, it was so easy. I went around just, I had 4 trees in my backyard by the time. And then I made a
Every tree,
I don't
every yard has a limit.
I know, it's a teach.
I was in the tree, yes, it would kill, I don't know.
Well, and the thing is, it's so easy to correct because I just did that and I waited a few weeks for a while about it. And, you know, of course, my grandson loved pulling vines and huge vines, little right up to the thing. Yeah, they just walk in.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Well, I don't know how you mentioned it,
Mm.
but, I was looking to get new homeowners insurance because I was unhappy with the increase. And I don't know, doesn't pay it because everybody's done. And so the questions that they asked me were, well, three questions. Did I have a family? And they, I guess,
I told him this, I have one next door and I, the wonderful people.
well, they get a lot for insurance, I think.
I see people just having these up in home insurance isn't knowing. The only reason I was getting my brother's, this is years ago, my brother's, one of his kids graduation party, and the guy with the prices insurance was invited us to the party, and he looked at him and he goes, I'm here, I see that, you get rid of that, and you're going up at least $200 a month. And that thing was down next week.
And then the other two questions are, how old are you both?
Yeah,
And then the other question was, are the branches overhanging you? And you need to have those taken care
I
of.
just did that.
I mean, it's gonna cost me a fortune, this one tree, because there are so many hanging over my roof. You know, and people will take the tree down, but because they got rid of the roof.
I did that in my case, yeah, I did that on my property, like, just before, because they were oak trees, it was like March.
So that, I think that's something that I guess would be helpful in the newsletter.
Okay.
That's my suggestion.
Okay, well, trees over your book, good idea.
Some insurance. Right there.
Because I had Brian May come out, we had hired 2 big pieces of equipment, he was there for 6 hours.
You know what I hear about your golf trees? And you don't exactly know how this works, but they have a kind of a vice.
Yeah.
So that the tree people don't have to climb the tree, right? And it holds the branch and then they laser it off. And then they bring it up.
Once, I mean, if the trees are, like anywhere near traffic lights and things like that. I know, I mean, that we pass that.
I understand that, but I'm not sure you can manage.
Yeah, well, it's very, especially downtown, it's so keep
Expensive for, but I,
planting trees on our cement.
you know, because of these unsafety,
Right.
and these guys don't have to go out there
Mm-hmm.
and tie it and somehow make sure it doesn't fall out of the house.
Yeah, and even after all that trimming, they still get little branches everywhere, the big branches and notch. So,
So we have, we talked about invasives, buying some trees under power lines, pruning tips and tricks. So that's it, because it's hard to really out. So we did 4 next time, we did 4 this time, so it's nice.
so anyone wanna help with any of the pruning tips where, tree, we just had to look it up, right? I don't know.
Yes, and I'll edit,
Okay.
I wrote this last time, so, and given my system,
You wanna write about the 3 things that they asked you that we should be aware of that you would do for your insurance? Just a little, up here about the 3, you could just say, I asked my homeowner's insurance and these are the questions they asked me that were important. And you could say, but the thing about the trees is that they specifically asked about branches hanging over windows. And that's, it's a good thing to take a look at. So. Yeah, we're just trying to help Janice, I'm not really good at writing, I will look up cleaning tips and tricks, or if you have that, loud, so I can call it. So, and then trees under power lines, I could guess the chief.
yeah, I was gonna talk to you about that.
Okay.
Because,
And I can tell my whole story about it. I will look everything up on the vines and on the trees, that's like a real, so, but any,
anytime you can see them, like,
So some.
yeah, no, I have this huge thing, that's like all along the edge of the trunk, because I never asked the Brian, so about it, then, oh yeah, oh, the Brian's strong. You're there, so, yeah.
I have a little,
I had like little clothes spots, but you want to hit the, and that was another interesting thing you told me about the tree, that you can go in about 5 inches on the side of the tree, not hurt, hook in there or anything like that, it was.
but they have.
Yeah, it went through the trees. So that was like, if he's the one that said, it's okay, it probably won't, because I remember asking him CME, and they were, his name is Christian.
Yeah.
Christian, and he said, oh, it's wrong, fine, but it's not. It's okay to have it on the trunk of the tree, but once it reaches the branching, you gotta get it off, because it winds around every single branch, and it just sucks the life out of the tree.
Well, that's important because there are a lot of in the trees.
And some of them are invasives.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they will just spread on everybody else's trees.
Okay, so point the trees under cover, we're gonna talk to him, what else? We do put that on this, it's maybe.
All the invasive, like, invasive trees, tree heaven,
Okay,
there's a couple of them there.
okay, they're on it.
It's, yeah, but the tree heaven is one that last town spring, there's, oh, and Bradford. I'm sorry,
I put a graphic there in my backyard in my shoe springs, but it was like right at the edge of LTC, and it was right where, they had a mound because of the water retention and all that, and it was finally, it was beautiful. But, then I gave one to my son to burn his house, and all these little things would come and shooting up around it. And I said, well, and I bought it for Christmas, and he says, what are you to do with this tree, lady? I said, well, I found out it's an invasive tree, and probably shouldn't have got it. See, you can crack the tree, and
they actually don't. They're banned.
I don't think so, that's good.
Really?
Yeah,
Like recently?
but, 7 years old.
Yeah.
But but I said, you know, it's so okay to put around, because I asked, Brian about it, because I had put some snow, I had snow left over, so we put it around the tree. And he said, yes, you can put snow around the tree, you can, a tree will grow around the stone. You don't have to wait, because he came and did all that clearing for my trees, and I had to put rocks in there. I'm trying to be a good example, but the trees are really okay, so. When you lose about 3 of them, you start to get scared. You know, because I lost 2 on the front yard, and I was like, okay, I don't like my house because it's shady. I'm not a real sun goddess, shade. So, well, anyway. All right, so, anybody, David, can you think of anything? The new letter?
I was saying, like, ask the expert or something like that, that little column written by,
Oh,
like, it goes.
yeah,
Have somebody write a question in and you'll answer it?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, we could get it,
Well, and one of us would do it.
but I mean, like, Harvard's,
Yeah. There's gotta be a website for this.
yeah.
And I'll ask my friend who's on the Michigan City Tree Board.
Yeah.
I think they can do something like that, because they have a forest, they have a survey on,
No.
that's kind of by Michigan City. So I can ask her.
Yeah. But that's cool. I'm gonna put it in the workshop. I just found out about, or the one to the Arboretum, more Arboretum. And I got to talking about with my neighbors, who's one sister here, this guy who quit his job and everything became a forest bather. They've been walking, you know, and the.
We do it for sure.
It's supposed to be, you walk through and it's peaceful and. They do it at the Arboretum too, and never heard it. So he's become, he had to do all these classes and take on tests and he has to become a forest bather. So you can imagine the public side, I think it's gross, but that's another
Meditation.
Right, so this was in a book on South Side. So we got to policy. Like we have kind of a bait or something to the forest. But it's fine, but and then with my, what's it, because everything going on, more I'm reading, what we do it, they have class in September, if you're around. It's one of what we choose. All right, so as the expert. All right.
Yeah, another thing on Parks Board, something to get people to do, because sometimes people like to do smart in the fall and winter, but clean up at Moon Valley. I know that Parks was looking at some,
The park shop, I would some good.
what's that? 20, okay, I'll let talk to Paul, because there's some.
Was outside and.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
It's something, well, they call it park.
yeah, it is.
It isn't a park.
Oh,
Yes, yeah, 30 trees.
Yeah.
There's no.
It needs to be, I remember.
They had one, we had, one rotting picnic table.
Yeah, wasn't there gonna be some kind of garden there or something? Wasn't,
That park needs a lot of help.
right, 'cause we went over there, this guy wanted to put a maple tree in there. And
You want to make a tree in that park?
no, this, yeah, it's the little triangle which is
Yeah.
on both, no, that's, you're talking about the big track, this is the little, it comes on two streets, June Way comes down to Golden Rod, and it splits, and there must have been a tree there before, and they took it out or whatever. I don't get it out, because I remember the people living there talking about getting it out, take it out, so now it's out, we wanted to put something in there. So I went over the right away, because they, you know, it was like maybe there's something fun. There's, well, you know, lines over it, there's a fire hydrant, there's a 2 street, I'm like, where's this people walking, and people walking, and kids, it's the boomiest intersection, you're not gonna put a tree there, it's just goofy. Yeah, it was very nice, and it was not only that, we had the fire hydrant, so I know you're gonna run into Tony, and there was a whole, electrical pole there with all the lines, the meeting over it, I'm like, why do you want to treat this? We cut it out again, like, well, it's not this. He said, no. It was just, and I gave them the reasons, I gave them the ordinance and highlighted them and said, this is lots of. They got to make the ordinance, because I, you know, I can't say no unless it's in the ordinance, right? So, anyway, anything else, or? So, SDS for. Yeah, okay, yeah. If you think about it, we should start putting in, we'll do another one in the step, like over the winter too, right? You know, so. Like that, just shortly. But right, just, well, that's what you have to be or whatever, this is just, I don't know how, we'll figure out how to put it in there, this is what happened to me when I called up about homeowners insurance. They do look at trees going over, well, something, okay,
Yeah.
so, you know, 4 seconds. No, we neither, we got to, yeah. Well, yeah, my husband was an English learner, so he ran ahead to everything. But sometimes gives me a look over the eyes, like, be nice, 47 years, don't rule it out. But, yeah, so, yeah, I'll write the thing on the mind on the tree, because like, I would really like to have all the facts and bright words to say about that, because we do have a lot of people who have lines on the tree, will be, you know, even like when we look at it, you have a tree like this, we need to cut those lines.
That's the English.
Yeah, right, it's Chapelton and Lakeshore Drive, the corner, that's your neighbor.
That terrible neighborhood, their property.
The one on the end, they live there, I see them, I see they put stuff out at how
You're talking about the corner.
the corner,
Yeah, no, and I'm sure it's a very elderly couple.
yeah,
And I'm sure that it's just gotten away from that, that they're just not either financially or physically capable of taking care of their property. And that's the house that backs up to the alley, right? And that's where road is being eroded by the fact that their landscaping has big holes in it. So, yeah, I mean, it's a problem, and chief and town put down a number, 2 or 3 of the really dangerous trees
Okay,
that probably should have been taken down.
yeah.
But again, it's just over there, it's.
We run it, it's last week, they just, they just cannot do it, they can be like that, so they, yes.
So they, yeah, and, you know, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you don't want to, when there's, tell them to do it, but
Yeah, it's really bad,
And there's also some too. So I'm kind of, there's trees to plant,
Yeah.
so you can take that.
and then like, say, although they were perfectly physically capable, but their house is being just like to see. The house is in the White House. First of all, it is encroached, whoever did the remodeling, it had to be before the town council had any rules. Because it goes from the street and in fact, I was talking to the chief about paving that road. And he said, I didn't argue with him though, he said that their house, they had done a survey and their house came. Actually, it doesn't come under the road, but, you know, it's on the paved road because it would be right at their property. But what is it,
is it next door to you?
yeah, but the town has to deal with it at some point,
Yeah.
is that, let's say that road should be 25 feet, and it's probably 12 less. So that is not their property.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get them to pay the other road. Yeah. That's my house, I go, and they stopped,
Yeah.
and my house and my next door neighbor, we have no access in that, right? And now if they widen the streets, they're supposed to widen the Bridgeford Drive.
Oh,
She will definitely not have any parking. Because it goes right up to the wall of her house.
right. Yeah, I mean, the big thing is Lakeford Drive, because, I mean, it's becoming more and more obvious that the vehicles, people are driving, right, cannot pass each other coming to Drive. And
You know, what, let me end the meeting, adjourn the meeting, so first and second. I mean, everyone to say,
Oh, you don't have to ask for motions, but I mean.
okay, we're gonna end the meeting.